Welcome to Lost Culture, your one-stop destination for everything pop culture. My name's Aston and I'll be your host for today's episode of the FlasH recap. So before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it so your friends can see. And as always, just make sure you tune in. So today's episode, we're going for season 3, episode 10. Whoa, I don't know what's got into. It's been a while, kind of rusty. So on this episode, we open up with Barry having the nightmares. He's he's keeping the reason why he's having the nightmares from Iris, which I completely understand. You don't want to tell anybody oh, I seen you die in a couple months. I think it was 6 months at the time, or 5 months at the time we seen it. Now it's only 4 months away for when she's gonna die. Ooh, I understand. You see, he's really reluctant about talking to her about it. And I completely understand that. So we see he gets his way out of it by going to fight to combat the fire. And in this fire, we see that he's bringing Kid Flash with him. She even tells look, you gotta hurry to get to the fire, or Wally's gonna end up getting there before you. So what does he do? He rushes out. He gets there. We see as soon as he shows up, Wally's basically showing up behind him. And what do we we see that he's teaching Wally the ropes. He's telling him, look, we got to open up this door. And when they open up that door, he said we can't open the door because if we open the door, too much air is going to rush and it's going to be a big explosion. So what he tells him is, open this door and I'm going to do a little wind vacuum. He did a little funnel and push air into the room. So he did it, it popped the windows or something. So all that happened. They were able to save the cop. And it kind of pissed me off about this cop is, maybe he didn't understand the whole aspect. Everyone's trying to explain to him, look, what we do with new cops is we rein them in. We just don't throw them out in the hardest mission we have. Yes, we expect them to act, but we just don't send them out on these super hard missions or whatever. So he's complaining oh, we need to send him back to Keystone and we need to get rid of him. I don't trust him. He's not doing nothing. He's dead weight. And obviously we understand that he's teaching them. And we see other people. We see Joe is actually trying to stick up for him. At the same time, Wally walks in. He's kind of upset about what he's hearing. And I would be upset too if someone's badmouthing me and they don't even understand the full story. And he just basically blatantly doesn't care about how I'm doing, what's going on with me. So we see Joe ask him, does he hear anything? Obviously Wally lies about it. They go and get their breakfast. And that's when we start seeing all the stories about Plunder. We see Plunder's out on a rampage. Next time Barry goes out, Barry's basically, he's doing everything to dodge him. I love to see how these bullets were tracking. And going off of what they showed us, I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do when it comes to Savitar and HR later on in the season. Obviously these bullets they're able to track speedsters. Obviously Savitar is a lot faster than Barry, so I don't know how well these bullets are going to actually trace, chase Savitar, but only time will tell for that. But we see Barry basically freezes up. He doesn't want to capture Plunder based on the fact that Iris is going to die in the future, and that was a bad idea because we see the guns clicking. They're I like Barry, man. You don't see this happening. Luckily, Wally comes in at last minute and he basically saves Barry. And we see they kind of have this miniature fallout for a second, and everybody's cheering for him. And at the same time, Joe's talking to Barry I got the impression that Joe felt like Barry was jealous that Wally got to capture or whatever. And again, for the audience, we understood why oh. So once I seen the full clip in action, I remember they released this a couple months, maybe a month ago too. And I was damn, Barry mad because Wally must have really messed up to get Barry mad. But what we see really was Barry's trying to combat Iris's death, and yeah. But going on from there, we see HR in the Star Labs Museum. We see there's a lot going on, not a lot going on, but I like seeing HR. We see he did a little soft, he showed it to everyone around the studio. We see he has the little Cisco hologram science, and it reminded me like Booster Gold. I don't know why that Cisco reminded me of Booster Gold. Maybe it was supposed to remind us of Booster Gold, but it definitely did remind me of Booster Gold, the way he was talking and everything. So we got that going on. We see Cisco is not impressed by it. Cisco told him, like, I did not want to be part of this. And yeah. And then we go from Cisco, we go to him talking to Caitlin, telling her he should be a barista. Like, really, HR? He wants her to be a barista. And, but another thing that kind of made me mad about this episode was Cisco. Like, asshole Cisco. I really don't like this new Cisco. Honestly, it's mad annoying. Like, he's being a super asshole to HR this whole episode for no reason. Like, this is just carrying on from Heroes vs. Aliens. But, bro, I really do not like this shit. Like, I really do not like him. Oh, every time, like, maybe he just saw that problem so he can get rid of you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, like, really, Cisco? Really? Really? It was really pissing me off this whole episode. But going on from there, we see at the end of the episode, Cisco actually comes through, and he comes through on multiple different levels. We see he actually he helps Caitlin out with her jewelry problem, because we see Caitlin is really worried this episode about her bracelet's dying and she turned into Killer Frost. We see she's actually approaching Julian, trying to get Julian to open up about everything going on, trying to tell him not his fault. We see she invites him to join the team before even consulting the rest of the team. And bro, like, I think that would have been awkward for Julian, because definitely when he showed up to the grand opening and he's like, oh, I decided to accept your offer. Like, what offer? And then you find out it wasn't really an offer, just her like throwing some pity stuff out to him. That would have felt so awkward. I would have felt like embarrassed, like bruh. But that's really like, that's. But one thing we did get to see, once Barry actually confessed to everybody why he was upset. Everybody understood. They're still lying to Joe about it, but everyone's okay with it. So we see that everyone understands that it was an acceptable reason for him, like acceptable for a reason. You don't want to tell somebody they're going to die, and he's just trying to protect her. So they come up with the plan that Cisco would take Barry back to the future, and they'll basically see what stacked up to cause these incidents. So we see the gorilla. Obviously, they gave us the hint that Gorilla Garage is coming back. They told us Killer Frost is coming back. They told us, what else they tell us? Oh, Star Labs is going to close again. A bunch of stuff they told us in that instance, and we got to see HR was holding the gun that belonged to Plunder, and boy, like that was pretty. Like I wonder, like, dang, where did HR get that gun from? And I wonder why HR didn't use it sooner either, but. That's neither here nor there. We see all that's broken down. We see, and there's some other stories we missed, because we see he's getting ready to read something else, and then we hear Iris scream. So obviously there's something we missed right there, and I wonder what the other stories were. So going on from there, we got, what else is going on with that? What else on this episode? So we got the team, everyone's on the same note. We got, after he's captured, we see Plunder escapes, and when Plunder escapes, they're trying to figure out what was going on. That's when Barry remembered, oh, we captured him at the Star City Museum, so he had there right away. And I love the way the new tricks. I hated this animation though. The animation looks so robotic-y. It was so stiff when we seen Barry and Wally running at full speed, because even the way they reacted to the explosions and everything, it was just so. It was so stiff. Like, you could tell it wasn't natural. It just didn't feel natural. The character designs look pretty good, but as far as everything else, like I said, it looked pretty stiff. I really didn't like that. Now, going on from there, we had a new way to kind of fix time, which for Harrison Wells not to be like a scientific guy in this world, he's pretty smart. We see we set the dominoes. Yes, the dominoes are always going to fall in the same direction, but what we can do is we can alter the way they fall. And that was pretty cool, because we got to the end event, but instead of Iris dying, we've seen it just move a little bit. So I don't know what the alteration is going to be. I don't know. Maybe we have to risk somebody else's life to save Iris' life. But hopefully nothing too crazy goes on and everything is alright. But like, I actually enjoyed this episode most of all. I have to give my Speed Force moment of the week to Wally for saving Barry's life. When Barry's like kind of freaking out, we see he comes in and saves the life. Another thing I liked was the apartment. I'd love to see the way they set this apartment up. One thing I didn't understand was, where's HR getting all his money from, and who's financing this? Because they made it seem like Barry was not paying them, even though we found out in season 2 that Barry inherited all of Harrison Wells' like money and all of the Star Labs and everything. So where are they getting? Where all that money going? Like, what is he using that money for besides decorating his new apartment or buying new houses and stuff? So that was one thing I was like wondering too. I like, why is Barry not paying them or whatever? But yeah. So that's all we got. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you tune in again next week. I'm sorry if I was a little rusty. Like, it's been like about a month off. So thank you guys for tuning in again. As always, stay lost.